Hey guys, it's me again. I just wanted to tell you about my post-MEP experience, and definitely something to tell for the ladies. When I was searching for anything on the internet that had to do with MEPS or what to expect, and not just the exercises they make you do, but the whole entire process, I wasn't able to find anything. Not to mention, you needed to know certain specific things when it came to females. So you got to report to your base at 6 a.m. Sharp. You will probably not go in for another hour or so, or it just felt like an hour because it was really cold outside. And we're waiting outside and we're waiting for the doctors to get ready to take us in. And the officer came out and he gave us a quick security assembly briefing as of to what not to bring into a military base or how to talk, and if you have zeros in your social security number or any other number that you'll be writing down or you'll be asked to speak, do not say O's, because O's, they're letters, they're not numbers. You will be penalized for that. Everything's yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. If you fail to do so, you will be penalized. Not only scream that, you will be penalized. So please don't make that mistake. After about an hour, we were brought in. We went through the metal detectors. We locked our stuff away, and we received our folders, which when you open up your record folders, it had a sticky labels which you were later able to use and you were supposed to fill them out, and it had a big sticky label that you would put on your left hand side on your chest. So after you put on your sticky label on your left hand chest side, you will be asked to go upstairs, upstairs being the third floor, and that's where all the medical stuff happens. I was asked to do vision first. It does not go in any particular order, but there are about 7 or 8 components, starting with blood pressure, then you'll have vision, your hearing, urinalysis, blood work, doctor interview, and a neurophysical. As I was waiting for division, everyone kept on getting processed, so the line was getting longer and longer, and the doctors kept on coming out, and they were asking X amount of people to leave and go sit in a classroom because they will not have time to process them. Around 9 o'clock, we were asked to leave. Of course, it was about my turn to go, and because for division you go in 2 at a time. So it was my turn to go, and there was an announcement that said all medicals will now be postponed because there has to be a briefing. So we all went to sit down into a big classroom to fill out more paperwork. There were about 30 to 40 of us. So we sit down, we're filling out paperwork. At first, there was a captain. They gave us a 10 to 15 minute briefing as of, again, how to act when you're in a military base and so on. After that, we had an hour-long briefing that was medical, all the medical history and everything that we went through and so on. While that was going on, you were given a format that you were expected to write in, not just for that day, but for your entire 4 years or so. Not only you were given a format as to how to write, but also how to talk. Everything was yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Zeros are not O's, O's are letters, zeros are numbers. So if you have zeros in your social security or any other number that you are required to remember and be given out to certain personnel, please do not say O's, there are zeros, you will be penalized. If, let's say, your social security is 3708, it is not 37, it is 3708. Again, you'll be penalized for that. You do not want to be DQ'd, disqualified. If you are, that means you are unable to return to that building for another 30 days. So if you're trying to ship out as soon as possible, like I was, you do not want to make any mistakes. While that is going on, you're also told how to fix a mistake on a legal document. You will not cross it out 300 times. You will only cross it out once. You will write your initials and the date. The military date is the year, the month, and the day. So I went December 30th. That will be 2015, 12:30. You will write it on every single document in that way. While you were listening to all of that was going on, you had a medical examiner going around and taking your blood pressure and a heart rate. When that was done, all the red dots and yellow dots personnel was asked to get up first and stand in a line to take the breathalyzer exam. Red dots and yellow dots, they are physically placed on your label that's on your chest. Red dots are delayed entry, and those are people that didn't have a chance to do a medical, so they're doing it now, but they're shipping out in like a week, so they really have to go first. Yellow dots are all the gonna be officers, so they have to go first as well. After that, all the females were asked to go take the breathalyzer exam, and then everybody else. When you were done with the breathalyzer exam, before you exited out that classroom, there were doctors sitting on your left hand side, and you will give them your folder, and they would ask you basic questions as to what is your natural hair color and your eye color and so on. Then you'll be told where to go next. I was told to go to Vision Next. Even though I was the first one in the line, I still had to wait because the doctors that were doing the vision, the hearing, were the ones in the actual classroom processing all the paperwork. So you still had to wait. I think I waited about 30-40 minutes. It is hard to tell because even though you are able to carry your phone with you, it has to be physically shut off and you're not able to check it. Otherwise, guess what? You'll be DQ'd. You do not want that. And besides from that, I don't think there were any clocks on the third floor anyway. So after you wait about 30-40 minutes, the actual exam takes a full minute, maybe two, that's really it. You go in two at a time because there are two vision doctors, and you're asked to look at series of pictures. It's a round picture that has little colored dots in it as a background, and then a different colored dots and numbers, and you are expected to tell them what the number is, and this simply serves as a means for them to be able to say you are not colorblind. When you're done with that, there's a magnifying machine looking like thing, and you look through it, and you have a letter sheet, and you're expected to read with your right eye first, and then you read with your left. There's three different angles they want you to read from. They want you to read from up front, looking straight ahead, and looking down as if you are reading. They will ask you to read the first line and then pick a line as small as you possibly are comfortable with reading. So you pick the smallest line you could read and you go for it. For the Coast Guards, your vision has to be a little better. I don't know how it is for the other branches, but for the Coast Guards, the smallest I could have gone was 8, and he actually asked me to do 8.5 or 8A. I was okay with it, except when it came to like a C's or D's or O's. I wasn't really sure if they're D's or C's or O's, and was getting them very mixed up because when the letters are this tiny, let's face it, everything gets smudged and it kind of looks the same. However, when I actually talked to him about it, he was very cool. He actually said that part of the exam they do waive because, God forbid, it was a C and like a little speck of dirt got in it. It'll look like 0. I mean O. So he said not to really worry about it. So you will be having a waiver for that part of the test, so don't worry about that. After he fills out your paperwork, he'll tell you where to go next. I was sent to hearing. So when you get to hearing, it's a big room, which is like a waiting area, and then you have a smaller room where the actual listening part happens. So you go in 4 at a time, and you have headphones. You have the left side goes on your left. The blue side goes on your left ear, and the red ones go on your right ear. And then you have a little clicker, and every time you hear a noise, you click it. It doesn't matter if you hear it 4 times, you only click it once. It starts off as a really deep bass noise type of, and then it makes its way up all the way to like a high pitched, and you'll hear it in one ear first and then in the other. My challenge was that when the beeps got to be really high pitched and really low, I wasn't sure if it was my headphones or the guy next to me or the girl next to me. I was completely confused, but I passed it. I'm not deaf, so I guess I did okay, so don't really stress that either. After that, they filled out my paperwork. Even though the actual exam took about 5 minutes, you end up sitting in a booth for about 20 minutes. That is because they have to read the electromagnetic waves, the audio waves, and be able to determine if you're deaf or not. Then I was sent to do a urine analysis. So urinalysis was my next task, and that was the most uncomfortable part of the MEPS besides being butt naked with other girls. It was if you go through with MEPS and you get to feel how uncomfortable I felt, you will never ever feel uncomfortable again. Like, no matter what happens to you, you will never feel uncomfortable again. So you walk in and it's like a waiting area, and then you have a little room inside of a room that has no door. And then you have a stall that has no door, and you have the examining lady standing there, and then you have a window where you will put in your sample, and that lady is staring at you as well. So now you have 2 pairs of eyes staring at you while you're supposed to pee in a cup. The cup is about this big, so it's a decent amount of, decent amount. Not only you're asked to pee, you're also asked to fill it up, because guess what? If you don't, you have 72 hours to come back, wait on the line, pee again, or you will be DQ'd. Again, 30 days. You do not want that. So waking up 4:30 in the morning, being freezing cold and really nervous and not drinking anything, it was kind of hard to get it done. But you do your business. You do not flush, wipe, or wash your hands. You only do so when you're told. When you're done with a specimen, you're gonna have about 8 sticky little labels in your folder when you open them up, and you're supposed to initial 2 of them. When you initial them, be careful not to touch the box or the letters. They can't touch itself. And one is going to be for your urine specimen, and the other is going to be for your blood work. You do not want to be screamed at because you went outside the box, or because your 2 letters are touching each other. It's really stupid, so please don't do that. So when you're done, you put it in the window, the lady does whatever she does with it, the rest she tells you to flush down the toilet, and then you wash your hands. When you're done with that, you get to send wherever you didn't go yet. My luck, exactly what I did not want, was to get my blood taken right before duck walk. Guess what happened? My next stop was the blood work.